Welcome to Conflicted, a series on extreme leadership. I am your host and guide, Dave Anderson. Due to the intense social dilemmas and graphic nature of this series, for those under the age of 18, viewer discretion is advised. In this series, we'll be playing a game that will test your ability to respond strategically and with decisive action. There are no wrong answers, just better solutions to getting the best outcome from the worst of circumstances. There will be a multitude of points of view to this series, so everyone should feel free to post their opinions. Management and leadership in the most extreme environment reveals the leader. How leaders react under stress is 10 times more valuable than when things are calm. Modern society has suddenly collapsed and you find yourself over 250 miles from home. The entire country's power grid is down or destroyed. You just don't know which. Maybe it was a nuclear attack, a multiple meteor strike, a giant solar mass ejection, or Earth's magnetic poles switching from north to south. All you really know is that modern society has collapsed into chaos. Food, water, and shelter are a scarce commodity in this lawless land of thugs, gangs, and those just trying to survive. In order to survive the chaos, you must form uneasy alliances, maintain security, and make some decisions that would seem very far outside the lines of modern society's norms. What you see and live every day since the collapse seems like a combination of watching a Walking Dead episode and playing the video game Grand Theft Auto. The objective is to survive by making decisions that consider the risk versus reward outcomes, and decisions that fortify your group's morale, physical well-being, security, and strength. Remember, there are no wrong answers, just good solutions that offer better outcomes. Are you ready? Do you think you've got what it takes to survive? Food and water are nearly depleted in your group, and the members are worried and becoming increasingly restless. The grumblings from the lack of food are compounded because the immediate area around you is not exactly a fertile place for foraging or hunting for food. In desperation, one of your trusted members suggests that looting others that are nearby may be your group's last resort. How would you handle the idea of looting others if it was brought up within your group? In a few seconds, pause this video and discuss this with your group. Write down some bullet points that make the best sense. When you find yourself in this kind of situation, you must realize that a major failure has already occurred. If the area that you are in is not exactly a fertile place to forage or hunt for food, the decision to leave that area for better grounds must be made before desperation sets in, which will ultimately force you into doing something rash. We have all heard the quotation, "If you fail to plan, you plan to fail." If the group is not strategically planning for the future, they will be doomed to reactive options. Reactive options are attempts to salvage an unforeseen or unplanned for problem and pull victory out of the jaws of defeat. Literally speaking, successfully pulling a chicken out of the snapping jaws of an alligator is extremely slim and very dangerous. The odds of success are very low. Planning ahead allows a group to be proactive and be a bit more in charge of their own destiny. Decisions are often less stressful, minimize risk, and come from a greater number of options. The best course of action would have been to leave that area prior to becoming so desperate for resources. Since the group failed to see their coming plight, their options are now severely limited. If the group is unable to leave the area, trading skills or other non-food items for food could be a good option. However, if the area offers a poor source of acquiring food, the neighboring groups may just be in the same kind of situation themselves, starving. My advice, if they are willing to trade, is make the trade so that you can bug out and have the potential to open up new possibilities elsewhere. If you stay, your group is only going to get hungry again tomorrow, and the situation has not changed. If the neighboring groups are unwilling to trade, do not let them know how desperate you have become. If you do, they might prey upon you in your weakest hour. Also, if they believe you are desperate enough, they will anticipate your attempt to loot their supplies and increase security. The more that a resource becomes scarce, the greater the security will be to protect it. Attempting to loot that resource should only be attempted if it means certain life or death. In other words, if you are willing to pay for the food with your life, you have become that desperate. Odds that someone or several people will end up paying for it with their lives is high. It is time to relate this exercise to corporate leadership. I cannot overemphasize the importance of strategic planning and how that plan needs to be continuously monitored and tweaked as conditions change. Allow ramping up to support for future changes, especially with people, the greatest asset a company has. If production in certain sectors of the country are projected to rise, being proactive with hiring and training early can make your workforce more capable when the time is right. Just like project management tells us, certain steps have to be accomplished prior to moving to the next step. If profitability is low in certain areas, do something about it before it becomes a desperate life or death struggle. The insanity principle is thinking that there will be a different outcome when you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Add your comments for what your group would do. We can all learn from each other, so if you would have gone in another direction, please let us know why you would support choosing another path.